Ethan was not a soldier. He was just an engineer, a man who liked machines more than people. He had always loved space, the silent stars, and the feeling that he could explore worlds no human had ever seen. For years, he worked on small research missions, fixing satellites and helping scientists study distant planets. But nothing in his life prepared him for the world he was about to discover. His shuttle, small and worn from years of service, floated near a strange, glowing anomaly at the edge of the sector. The energy coming from it was unlike anything he had seen before. It pulsed with colors that seemed alive, moving and changing as if they had a mind of their own. Ethan's heart raced. He wanted to study it, touch it, understand it. But his curiosity came at a cost. The moment he got close, a sudden blast of energy struck his shuttle. The controls flickered and sparks flew. Ethan struggled to regain control. But the ship spun out of the sky. With a loud crash, it landed on a surface covered in smooth black rocks that reflected the strange glow from the sky. Ethan was shaken, but alive. He took a deep breath and climbed out of the shuttle, looking around. The world was silent. Tall structures rose from the ground, shaped like trees but made of a metal that shimmered. Strange plants grew between the rocks, glowing faintly. The air was breathable, but it smelled different, sweet and sharp at the same time. He touched a glowing leaf and it felt warm, almost alive. For a moment, he forgot the danger, but danger was coming. From behind one of the tall metal trees, figures appeared. They were tall, taller than humans, with skin that shimmered like silver under the alien sky. Their eyes were large and dark, full of intelligence. Each wore armor that seemed to move with them, alive in some strange way. They surrounded Ethan quickly. One of them stepped forward. He looked older, stronger, and carried a staff that glowed at the tip. "Who are you?" the alien asked. His voice was calm but carried authority. Ethan raised his hands. "I'm Ethan. I come from Earth," he said. His voice shook, but he tried to keep calm. The aliens looked at each other, and then at Ethan. Finally, the tall one motioned, and more aliens appeared. They moved like shadows, fast and quiet. Before Ethan could run, they surrounded him. He felt panic rising, but also a strange calm in his heart. Something about these aliens was different. After a few minutes, they led him through a path of glowing metal trees. The city ahead opened up like a dream. Buildings curved into the sky, their surfaces reflecting the alien lights. It was beautiful and frightening at the same time. In the center, a large palace rose, taller than anything Ethan had ever seen. Its walls shimmered like liquid silver. Inside, he was brought before the queen. She sat on a throne that seemed to float slightly above the ground. Her skin was pale blue, her eyes golden and deep. Her hair moved slightly as if it were alive, floating gently around her shoulders. Beside her was a young alien girl. She looked calm, curious, and surprisingly gentle. Her eyes were a bright green that seemed to look into Ethan's soul. The queen's voice was like music, but sharp and commanding. "Who are you, human?" she asked. Ethan swallowed. "I am Ethan. I am not a soldier. I am just an engineer," he said. "I did not mean to come here. My shuttle was damaged by the energy near your planet." The queen studied him. Her daughter, Lyra, stepped closer to Ethan. She tilted her head and looked at him with curiosity. "He is not afraid," she said softly. The queen frowned. "Humans are dangerous. They come, they take, they destroy. Why should I believe he is different?" "I only want to understand," Ethan said. "I do not want to fight. I want to learn about your people, your world, and your technology. I can help you too, if you let me." The queen's gaze turned to her daughter. Lyra smiled faintly, but Ethan saw a spark of mischief in her eyes. She reached out her hand slightly. A silent invitation. Ethan hesitated, then gently touched her hand. A wave of warmth ran through him. It was not magic, he realized, but something else. Something real. The Queen's eyes narrowed. Be careful, Lyra. Humans are not to be trusted. I am not afraid, Lyra said again. He is different. Ethan felt a strange connection with the girl. He could not explain it. She seemed to understand him in ways that no one on Earth ever had. He wanted to talk to her, learn from her, and protect her. But the Queen's gaze reminded him that he was still a stranger, an intruder in this world. That night, Ethan was placed in a guest room near the palace gardens. The walls shimmered slightly, changing color with the moonlight. He could see the glow of the city through the windows. He wanted to sleep, but he could not stop thinking about Lyra and the Queen. As he sat on the bed, he heard a soft sound outside the window. He went to see and found Lyra standing in the garden. "Do not be afraid," she whispered. "I wanted to see you again. You are different from the others." "I feel the same," Ethan said quietly. "There is something about you. I do not understand it, but I feel connected." Lyra smiled. "You are not like the humans I heard about. You are kind and brave." Ethan's heart lifted. He had never been called brave before. I want to learn and help. That is all." She nodded. "Come tomorrow. I will show you something. Something only a few can see." The next day, Ethan was brought before the Queen again. She looked more serious than before. "I will allow him to stay for now," she said, "but he will be watched. One false move, and he will be gone." Ethan bowed slightly. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I will not disappoint you." The Queen looked at Lyra. The girl's eyes glowed faintly, and Ethan saw a small wave of energy ripple between them. It was brief, but it was enough. The Queen's eyes widened slightly, and she said nothing. Over the next few hours, Ethan walked with Lyra through the palace gardens. She showed him plants that moved to music, stones that glowed under certain lights, and fountains that sang in soft whispers. Ethan was amazed. He had never seen such beauty. "This world is incredible," he said. "And you are amazing too." Lyra blushed lightly, looking down at her hands. "You are not like the others," she said. "You care. You notice things. That is rare here. And I like that about you." Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. For the first time, he did not feel like a stranger in the universe. He felt like he belonged somewhere, with someone, but danger was still near. Ethan did not know it yet, but the Queen's people had enemies, and the energy anomaly that brought him here was not harmless. Soon, his skills as an engineer and his courage would be tested in ways he never imagined. For now, he only knew that he had found a new world, a new friend, and a connection that could change everything. As the twin moons of the planet rose high in the sky, Ethan looked out over the glowing city. He whispered to himself, "I will protect her. I will protect this world." And somewhere in the shadows, the Queen watched silently, her thoughts unreadable, as the bond between human and alien girl quietly began to grow. The next morning, Ethan woke to the soft glow of the palace. Sunlight from the planet's twin suns filtered through the large windows, making the walls shimmer like water. He stretched and prepared for another day in a world he still did not fully understand. He was nervous. Last night, the bond he had felt with Lyra lingered in his mind. He wanted to see her again, but he also knew the Queen's eyes were always watching. Ethan wondered how much of this world he could explore safely. As he walked toward the palace gardens, he saw Lyra waiting. Her green eyes shone with excitement. "Good morning," she said. "I have something to show you today." "Good morning," Ethan replied. "I am ready." They walked through the gardens together. Lyra's small hand brushed against his, and he felt the same warmth as the night before. The plants seemed to bend slightly toward them as they passed. Lyra laughed softly. "You see what I mean? Everything here responds to energy. Some of it is strong, some weak, but it listens. Ethan nodded. It is amazing. I have never seen anything like this. It is alive in a way that is not dangerous, just connected. Lyra smiled. Exactly. My people have always felt energy. We can sense strength, fear, honesty, even love. But not all humans have it. You do. Ethan was surprised. Really? Me? Yes, Lyra said, tilting her head. I can feel it. You are different. Before Ethan could answer, the Queen's voice echoed from behind them. Lyra, come here. The girl's smile faded slightly. Ethan turned to see the Queen walking toward them. Her golden eyes were sharp, her posture rigid. Ethan, she said, you will remain under observation. I will not have my daughter's safety compromised. Ethan bowed slightly. Of course, Your Majesty. I will do nothing to harm her. The Queen studied him carefully. Do not think your words mean more than actions. Humans often speak of peace, but many bring war. Tell me, why does your human heart care for my daughter? Ethan hesitated. He had never been asked such a question directly. He wanted to answer honestly, but the words felt too fragile for the weight of her gaze. He swallowed and said, I do not know why exactly. Something about her makes me want to protect her. I want to understand her world. That is all. The Queen's lips pressed together. She studied him, her eyes narrowing. Lyra looked between them, sensing tension in her mother's voice. You will be tested, the Queen said finally. You will prove whether your intentions are true or false. Fail, and you will leave this place immediately. Yes, Your Majesty, Ethan replied, his voice steady. The day passed slowly. Ethan followed Lyra as she guided him through different parts of the palace. He saw halls that shimmered with energy, rooms filled with floating crystals, and machines that seemed to move with their own minds. Every corner of this world was alive, and Ethan marveled at the designs. You understand machines, Lyra said. You will help us study some ancient devices soon. They are very old and dangerous if misused. I will be careful, Ethan promised. As they walked, Lyra explained small details about her people. We do not fight often, but when we do, it is precise and controlled. We protect our home first. We do not seek to conquer like humans sometimes do. But energy is everywhere. Those who understand it can do great harm if they are greedy. Ethan nodded. That is similar to Earth in some ways. People are curious, but curiosity can be dangerous. I try to be careful. Lyra laughed lightly. You are not like the others. I can tell. You do not rush or demand. You notice, you think. That is rare. Ethan felt a small smile. Thank you. That means a lot. By mid-afternoon, the Queen called Ethan and Lyra to the observation deck. From here, they could see the city spread below, glowing in the soft light of the setting suns. Look at this, the Queen said, pointing to a distant area where the ground shimmered in waves. That is the energy field that protects this city. It is delicate. Only those with strong intent can manipulate it. Ethan's eyes widened. I see. It reacts to energy? Yes, the Queen replied. And it reacts to fear or greed as well. That is why you will be tested. Only truth can operate it safely. Lyra stepped closer to Ethan. You have a chance to prove yourself, she said. I know you can do it. But you must trust yourself. Understand? Ethan nodded. He felt a strange confidence in Lyra's words. Her presence made him feel stronger, calmer. The test began the next morning. Ethan was brought to a chamber filled with strange devices. Crystals floated in midair, spinning slowly, and walls glowed with patterns that moved like water. Lyra stood beside him, her hands glowing faintly. You will feel the energy first, Lyra said softly. Do not be afraid. Listen. Do not force. Let it guide you. Ethan took a deep breath. He reached out to the nearest crystal. At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, he felt a vibration. A soft pulse that matched his heartbeat. The crystal glowed brighter. Ethan's eyes widened. "It responds to you," Lyra whispered. "It knows you are not here to harm." Ethan moved carefully, touching the other crystals. Each one reacted differently, but none with anger or fear. The energy seemed to flow through him, like a river he could feel but not see. He realized that the connection he felt with Lyra was part of this. Together, they made the energy respond more strongly. The queen watched from above, her golden eyes narrowing. She could see the energy rising and swirling around Ethan. She had never seen a human interact with it in this way. Later that day, Ethan and Lyra were walking through the gardens again. "You did well today," she said, smiling. "You have something rare. Most humans cannot do what you did." Ethan felt proud, but also worried. "Do you think the queen trusts me now?" Lyra shook her head slightly. "Not yet. She is careful, but she is curious. That is important. Curiosity can lead to trust if you are careful." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden warning sound. Red lights flashed across the palace walls. Ethan and Lyra ran to the observation deck. Outside, a small fleet of alien ships appeared near the planet's edge. They were different from the Queen's ships. Sharp, dark, and fast. Ethan felt a cold knot of fear. "Who are they?" he asked. "They are invaders," Lyra said softly. "They come to steal energy crystals from our world. They do not care for life, only power." The Queen's voice echoed in the chamber. "Ethan, you may be human, but your mind may be our only hope. Study the probe that arrived near our borders yesterday. It contains information we do not fully understand." Ethan nodded. He remembered the small alien probe he had seen the previous day in a storage chamber. Using his engineering skills, he examined it carefully. The probe contained schematics and attack patterns. Slowly, Ethan realized the invaders planned to strike at the city's defenses in just a few days. "This is serious," Ethan said, showing the Queen and Lyra what he had found. "If they attack, your shields might not hold for long. But I think we can adapt the system. I need time and Lyra's help." The Queen looked at him closely. Her golden eyes seemed to search his mind. "You ask to work with my daughter?" she said, her voice sharp. "Yes," Ethan said, calm but firm. "I cannot do it alone. Her abilities are needed to stabilize the energy field. Together, we can protect your world." The Queen's expression was unreadable. She did not answer immediately. Lyra reached out to Ethan's hand. "We can do it," she whispered. "I trust you." "Do you trust me?" Ethan nodded. "I do." For the first time, the Queen's lips pressed together in thought. She watched the energy flow around Ethan and Lyra. The connection between them was undeniable, but she did not understand it yet. She only knew that something old, something powerful, was awakening in her daughter. Ethan looked out at the approaching fleet. He knew danger was coming, but he also knew he could not fail. Not for Lyra, not for the Queen, not for the world that had shown him so much beauty and wonder. And as the sun set, casting long shadows across the shimmering city, Ethan felt a quiet determination rise in him. He would do whatever it took to protect this world and the girl who had already captured his heart. For now, he only hoped that the Queen would eventually see what he saw in Lyra, that she was not just a child of power, but a beacon of hope. And perhaps, just perhaps, she could also see that he was not just a human stranger, but someone who truly belonged here. The next morning, Ethan woke early. The palace was quiet, except for the soft hum of energy flowing through the walls. He thought about the invaders, the fleet that hovered at the edge of the system. Time was short. The Queen had not fully trusted him yet, but she had given him a chance to help. That chance was all he needed. He met Lyra in the gardens. The air smelled sweet and sharp, the same as the day he had arrived. Lyra was calm, but her green eyes were serious. "We must start," she said. The shields will not hold alone, and the invaders will not wait. Ethan nodded. I have studied the probe. I think I know how to adapt your system. But I need your energy to stabilize it. Lyra's hands glowed faintly. Then let us go. We have much to do. They walked together through the halls of the palace to the chamber where the energy field controls were kept. It was a large room filled with floating crystals, panels with moving patterns, and strange machines that reacted to touch. The energy was strong here. Ethan felt it brush against his mind, like soft wind, sometimes warm, sometimes cold. Be careful, Lyra said. The field can be dangerous. If it senses fear or greed, it can harm you. I understand, Ethan replied. He took a deep breath and stepped closer to the nearest panel. Show me how to connect with it, he said. Lyra guided him. Place your hands on the crystals. Feel the flow. Do not think too much. Let it listen to you. Ethan followed her instructions. At first, nothing happened. The crystals spun slowly, faintly glowing. Then, he felt the pulse again, soft and rhythmic, matching his heartbeat. He moved his hands slowly, trying to match the patterns. The energy reacted. The crystals glowed brighter, and a wave of warmth spread through the room. Ethan realized that Lyra's energy was connecting with his. Together, they could reach deeper into the field than either could alone. This is amazing, Ethan whispered. It responds to both of us. Yes, Lyra said, her voice calm. We must work together. If we fight alone, it will fail. They spent hours adjusting the energy patterns. Ethan learned quickly. His engineering mind helped him understand the machines, while Lyra's psychic control guided the flow. They moved like a team, slowly but carefully, until the crystals spun steadily and the field stabilized. From above, the queen watched. She had not expected a human to manage such control. Her eyes narrowed, but she also felt a strange curiosity. Something about Ethan was different. He did not desire power or advantage. He only wanted to help her daughter and protect her world. Late in the day, alarms sounded. Ethan and Lyra ran to the observation deck. The invader fleet had moved closer. Small ships darted around the main fleet, scanning the area. Ethan felt a wave of fear, but he pushed it aside. There was work to do. They are testing our defenses, Lyra said. They want to see weakness. We cannot let them find any. Ethan looked at the patterns he had set in the energy field. If we strengthen the flow here and adjust these crystals, we can create a barrier stronger than before. It will hold them back longer. Lyra nodded. I will help, but we must be careful. The field reacts to intent. If you panic or lie, it can fail. Ethan took a deep breath and touched the crystals again. He felt the energy, calm and steady. Lyra joined him. Together, they moved their hands. Guiding the power, the field shimmered, glowing brighter. The invader fleet fired small probes, but each one disintegrated before it could reach the city. The queen entered the chamber silently. She watched Ethan and Lyra. Her expression was unreadable. Finally, she spoke. You are not afraid. Human. That is unusual. Most humans would panic. Ethan shook his head. Fear will not help. I only want to protect this world. That is all that matters. The queen's eyes narrowed. She had heard many words like this before, but she had never seen someone act so calmly in the face of danger. Slowly, she began to lower her guard. Over the next few days, Ethan and Lyra worked tirelessly. They adjusted the energy field, studied the invader fleet, and prepared for the worst. Ethan discovered that the invaders had weaknesses in their ship's energy cores. If they could focus the field at the right frequency, they could disable the fleet without destroying the planet. Lyra taught Ethan how to sense the flow of energy in living beings as well. He realized that the Queen's people were not only strong in technology, but in understanding life itself. The connection between mind, heart, and energy was powerful. One evening, as they rested in the gardens, Ethan looked at Lyra. Do you ever feel afraid? He asked. Lyra shook her head. I feel fear, Yes, but I control it. If I let fear guide me, I could hurt the city instead of protecting it. You must learn that too. I think I am starting to, Ethan said quietly. With you, I feel stronger. I understand more, Lyra smiled. That is why the bond exists. We were meant to work together. You are human, but your spirit is compatible with mine. Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. He had never felt this connection with anyone before. It was not just friendship. It was something deeper, something he could not explain. But he knew he would protect her no matter what. The day of the invasion arrived. Ethan and Lyra were in the control chamber, ready to guide the energy field. The invader fleet appeared in the sky, dark and menacing. Ships darted in formation, scanning for weakness. The palace walls glowed with energy, but it was not enough to hold the entire fleet. Remember, Lyra said, trust the field, trust yourself, trust me. Ethan nodded. He placed his hands on the crystals. The energy flowed into him, steady and calm. Lyra joined him. Together, they guided the waves, adjusting the field to cover the entire city. The invaders fired. Their ships crashed against the energy, unable to penetrate it. The field pulsed with light, stronger and brighter than ever before. Ethan realized that the invaders' own energy was being reflected back at them. Their ships started to fail one by one. The queen watched from above. Her golden eyes widened in surprise. She had never seen such control. The human had not only survived the test but had become an essential part of the city's defense. As the last of the enemy ships fell, Ethan and Lyra collapsed to the floor, exhausted but relieved. The city was safe. The energy field held. The invaders had been defeated, without loss to the palace or the people. Lyra smiled faintly. We did it, she said softly. Ethan looked at her. We did it together. The queen entered the chamber. Her expression was softer now, but still serious. She studied Ethan carefully. You are not like the humans I have known, she said finally. You do not seek power or advantage. You seek only to protect. Ethan bowed. That is all I want. Your Majesty. The queen's eyes lingered on Lyra. I will trust you for now, she said. But know this, trust is earned over time. You have begun to earn it. Ethan nodded. I will not disappoint you. That night, Ethan sat in the gardens, looking at the glowing city. Lyra joined him quietly. The queen is not fully convinced yet, she said. I know, Ethan replied. But today, we showed her that together, we can protect this world. That is what matters. Lyra nodded. And that is why you are special. Few can do what you did. Few can connect with the energy like this. But we can. Company, Ethan smiled. I am glad it is with you. I could not have done it alone. Lyra placed her hand over his. The warmth spread through him again. We are a team, she said. Always. Ethan looked at the twin moons rising over the city. For the first time, he felt that he belonged somewhere, not because of his skills, but because of the bond he shared with Lyra and the trust he had begun to earn from the queen. He did not know what tomorrow would bring. But he knew one thing. He would not fail. Not for Lyra, not for the queen, and not for the world that had given him a second chance to be part of something greater. And somewhere above, the queen watched silently, her thoughts unreadable. The human had proven himself in ways she had never expected. The bond between him and her daughter was undeniable, and though she did not yet understand it, she could see that it might be the key to the survival of her people.